I fucking love it. I thrive on it. Just what you just said then, you know, like get right out of your comfort zone. You get so far out of your comfort zone and because you love it, because you're passionate about it, that it becomes not out of your comfort zone at all.
Yeah, it becomes the place you need to get
exactly,
to.
You know, and so that's what New Zealand was this year. I just did a little bit of research on a couple of areas that I could walk into and get into, places that had tar.
So where did you start?
I started like on the Landsborough side. So, you know, South Island, New Zealand, beautiful. And like, you've been over there a couple of times? Oh.
Every time I've gone to go over, I've done a Nick Joyce and pumped myself.
Yeah, right.
So like I had a Yamaha was going to fly me out for a new bike test. They did a new bike launch. Done this collarbone.
Oh shit.
And then there was a Supercross race that I was supposed to go and cover. Done this collarbone.
Fuck.
So like right before September, I ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking wrap myself up. But I haven't been over there.
I'm the same. Whenever a big hunt's coming up, like, oh, don't break a leg now. Any other time of the year, like whatever. But
do whatever,
you know, just die after this happens. You know.
Yeah.
But so New Zealand's got their shit down pat. Miles of public land, like insane amounts of public land, all beautiful, like all fairly accessible if you're fit and can walk in. Docklands is like Docklands is their public lands, but also their national parks over there. You can hunt in the national parks. So you go online, you apply for like a hunting permit, and like I'm used to getting to the point where you put your credit card details in and they smash you for that permit. And then the number just comes up, your permit number. And I'm like, where do I pay for this? You don't fucking pay for this. It's
really?
Fucking free. New Zealand is so good.
Fuck.
Tons of game, all introduced, so classified as feral. Yeah. So there's no tags or anything. You know, you're basically doing the environment a service, anything that you sort of shoot over there. But New Zealand hunters are, you know, very respectable, switched on mob. And they're not trying to eradicate the species because that's never going to happen. Yeah. But they're just trying to manage them better, you know what I mean? So they've got an awesome system. Well, I just wanted to start with that. So anyway, I get permits, you know, and the first place I went in was up the Landsborough, and that's pretty much all tar. There was no chamois there, and got in there, did some. It's the sort of place that you go, and I'm like the person that I'll take risks that I know I probably shouldn't have until I get to the point where I'm like, yeah, fuck. And like sort of place that like I scribed family on the back of me bow. So whenever I had the bow, I was looking at that and just like trying to, I don't even know why I did it. Like I actually come home sort of really confused.
Like rattled by it?
Well, just questioning myself, like, why do you do that? Like, I don't know. I don't know what triggers me to want to do that real explory fucking mission shit.
What's that feeling that you get on that, say like that, was it like the ledge that you were climbing across?
Yeah, so like to explain that better, I was 7 days into the hunt and I'd pretty much gone 2.5 days back in, and I come up a section in those 2.5 days that I'm like, I cannot go back that way. Do not go back that way. It's fucking risking your life. Going up's one thing. Your hands are in front of you. You're looking forward. You know, you're sort of taking the pack weight up and everything because, you know, you got 30 kilos or whatever in your backpack. Or it mightn't be that. It might be more like 20 when you fin it down. And you're sort of taking that up the whole way. Going down's a different thing because you're stepping onto where you can't see properly and you're sort of lowering the pack weight.
Pushing you down.
Exactly. And it's just... You'll come past disaster, so you don't want to go back that way. You already know how bad it is. And when I looked at my map, it showed a gradual detour about 2.5 days back. It showed a gradual detour down a mountain that would get into a river system, and then you could travel the river back down to the highway, hit the highway, and then walk back to where the vehicle parked. And so on that last day, the weather come in real bad. It rained. There was a bit of snow earlier in the night, and then it rained in the morning. And I sort of slid down a couple of sections that, you know, you could see it like flat, matted out on the bottom with fresh snow, so you could sort of slide down there looking at this map thinking, well, it's a much easier way down. So I slid down a couple of sections that I definitely wouldn't be game enough to go back up now, and I got there and it was completely bluffed out, like fucking I mean, sheer cliffs. Like you're looking over. You'll see those videos on Instagram.
Maybe we'll put the video over the top of this or something. So
yeah, and you sort of, it was just all cliffed out wherever you went. One side was worse. One side would have been like, you know, a kilometre fall to the bottom. And one side was bad, but there wasn't so much snow and ice on there. Well, so it looked, but you can only see over so far because they dip off, you know. So you're sort of looking into the blind of bliss. And I didn't realise, but there was a glacier underneath me. It just had fresh snow on top. Oh. And what happens when you get that fresh snow on top, you got crampons, like you got spikes on your boot, and they come down on the snow, and the snow compacts, and then you're actually not touching that blue ice. You're not actually touching, you know, that glacier, because the snow's compacted and it's holding the spikes on.
So then you've got that shearing force from the snow on the glacier.
So I'm going backwards, and I've got an ice axe that straps around this wrist here, and like I'm slowly slipping, like only a couple of the teeth are grabbing in on this boot here. I'm slowly slipping, and the ice axe is sort of going as well. It's sort of pulling a little bit, and then I'm kicking with this boot here, and it was a bit of a, it's a funny situation. It's like someone gives you a puzzle and then fucking puts a gun to your head, and they're like, solve that or I'm gonna fucking shoot you. So it's like you don't have time to think, I'm gonna fucking die, I'm never gonna see my family. You're just trying to fucking work the puzzle out. And as I'm fucking kicking, and I look down, the crampon on this boot's completely kicked off, and it's sliding down on the fucking ice, and it hooks on this little branch. It was like a fucking real shitty Hollywood movie that I was stuck in. And you see this crampon, and you can't get a good look. Like as soon as you do that, your body weight's past the balance point and you're gone.
Because you got the pack.
Yeah, so you're trying to look past yourself and shit like that. And if you've ever held your hands up above your head for a little while with just a tiny little bit of weight in them, like a minute starts killing.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of holding this hand here, trying to get, you know, grip into like this snow and compact the snow. This hand here and all my body weight's just swinging from this wrist. And I'm like, this is fucking it. Make a decision. And I'm like, drop the pack. And like, you don't realize the pack's got all my safety gear in it, except for like I had an EPIRB.
I was going to say, you got an EPIRB on you?
I knew I was going in the shit country, so I had it clipped onto my binocular harness. And it wasn't like I could just throw the pack off, because this hand's locked in. It would have ripped the ice axe out, and I was definitely gone. So it's like your mind is working so much fucking better than any other time in a situation like that. And it, like straight away, I was like, take that shoulder off, change hands. So I had to tuck this hand up through the thing, grab back on the ice axe, and then, you know, and it's you don't talk to anyone up there or whatever. Yeah. So I'm talking to my backpack, because it's fucking pretty much got my whole life on it. And I'm like, well, see ya. And I fucking let the pack off. And I was hoping, when you're looking at all white like that, and you can't really tell what angle shit runs. And I could just see a white section about 10 or 20 meters below me. And I'm like, oh, maybe that flattens off in a bench and it's all snow. And then the pack might, and you're sort of looking past, and I look down and you just see the fucking pack go like shoot out into oblivion. And then I'm listening, crack. Fuck. Like that's how long it took to hit the bottom pass there. I'm like, fucking hell. And like, you know, everything's fucked, you know, and then I still don't know if I can get to there. I still don't know if I can get to that point. Now I don't know if I'm sleeping on the mountain for the night. I don't have any safety gear. What time is this? It's about 11:30 or something in the day, maybe a little bit early, 9:30, and it's full clouded out, like it's raining and shit. You can't see fuck all. And my sleeping bag's there, my tent's in there, any food that I want in there, a lighter's in there, a torch is in there, everything's in there.
Your bow and everything's obviously.
And if you had to stay on the mountain another night, you'd have to hit the SOS button and get a chopper in.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I start climbing down, and my ice axe extends out to a walking stick. You twist it, you pull it out so far before the whole thing falls apart. You pull it out so far, and then you turn it again, and it's a walking stick. So I now I feel like fucking Spider-Man. I just dropped 20 kilos that I've been carrying around for 7 or 8 days. Now I'm sticking to the mountain flat out with one crampon on, and I climb down fucking get to where the other crampon is, and I can't step out on the ledge anymore. It's actually shot out on the ledge and caught on a like little bit of branch and like a fucking furry bush. And I reach out as far as I can with the ice axe extended into the thing, and like it's 2 inches away from fucking hooking the thing. That's why it was like I was in a shitty Hollywood movie. I'm like, you can't fucking make this shit up. So then I climb back, get me balanced right back onto the ice, and I turn the ice axe again and I pull it out, and there's like a section where it says stop, and I go past the stop and I go right to this grommet that holds the whole thing together. And I just turn it just on the grommet. I reach back out and I just grab one of the laces from the fucking crampon. So I fucking get that. And you're on a slope like this and it's ice. Like you can't turn around and sit on your ass. You can't take a fucking foot off the ground. It's like 3 points of contact constantly. So then I had to climb up another 10 meters to where it was like a bit more snowy and icy, get the ice axe, fucking chisel out a section that you can sit on. Because as soon as you put clothing on that ice, like clothing's smooth. You know, it needs to be something aggressive that sticks in there. So I had to chisel out a bench that I could actually fucking sit on, put the other crampon on, tighten that one up. Oh, horrible, mate. Like killing. And all that to go probably another 5 meters past the crampon, and there's a fucking just a smooth rock cliff face that's on an angle like this. It's running back the opposite way. It's not running this way. And it's just all smooth ice over the top. There's nothing to grip onto. And it took about 20 minutes of courage and trying with my weight balance to drop it, because you're just dropping past your legs reach, dropping, nothing, like fuck.
So what do you mean dropping? Are you like trying to jump onto it basically?
No, you're not jumping. You just got to move all of your weight from this leg, which you're pretty much sitting on, and standing out this leg to like just thin air, and like my body weight would probably try and lose balance about that far from getting the leg down and fix and balance. And because the rock ledge is like this and it's smooth, you got to keep all your weight as far that way as you can. So it's literally a cheek on the face like that, and it's like fucking death's like there, you know. And in that 20 minutes, because it was like I was in a section where I had good balance without dropping over, then you do start thinking like, you fucked up. You shouldn't have come down this way. Like you know, you're gonna get to see your wife and kid again, and it's just like, why did they do this? Yeah, I kept it from her for starters, and then I told her because I had a big, deep and meaningful with her. Like, I don't understand why I do that. Like, I don't know why there's a romance in that for me. I don't know if it is a romance. I didn't understand it myself. Like, why?
There's like a pull.
There's a pull. There's definitely a pull. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I was born in the fucking wrong area, and I wish I was exploring a country that's never been walked on before, or I still can't put, I don't know. I fucking don't know if it's something instilled in me. Is it some blood that run? I just don't know how to explain it. But anyway, eventually I got the courage up to, I had the binos on my chest, and they held me out about that much, and I fucking threw them down the mountain. I'm like, took them off, fucking see ya. Like, I'm at the point where I can't fuck around. I got my phone in a pocket, which connects to me Garmin GPS, which has got the like EPIRB built into it, the SOS. That's the only 2 items I had left on me, and the ice axe. And I got to the point, and I got to that phase, and I'm dropping down, and then just feel it underneath me. Like, just as I'm about to lose balance, I feel that foot touch down, like you can push a bit of back pressure on it. And so I go past this cliff face, because there's a little ledge at the bottom of about that wide. That's what I'm trying to get my foot on, that drop down. And I get to a point, and I'm at a point now where there's a satisfaction in, if I go to fall and I push off and I go a meter that way, I'll go into a chute where, as long as I don't hit my head on the way down, I'll break bones, but I'll survive. Or if I fall there, I'm fucking dead. Like, that was the difference. A chute went that way and it went hundreds of meters off a cliff, and a chute went that way and it went like 100 meters gradual into rocks and stuff down the bottom.
God damn.
And there was relief in just that. Like, I'm just going to break legs or whatever. Then I'll hit the...
Relief in a 50-50.
Yeah. And I'm like, is my pride too big to fucking hit the SOS button already? Like, you're in a fuck situation. You should already hit it. But it's like, no, I'll just... Once I break legs, then I'll hit it. And... Anyway, eventually I get to there, and I sort of fucking Spider-Man between things, get down there, and what looked like a gradual like snow and ice going that way and rocks from the top was still fucking like this. But all of it was like, you're just going to break legs if you fall here. And I end up going 400 meters down that to find my bow shattered in pieces, because the bow's strapped to the backpack. Yeah. You can't walk around with a bow there. It's like you need all your hands and limbs. The bow's shattered in pieces. Then I start finding some broken arrows, some other pack contents, and then eventually I find the backpack down in this ditch. So there's a relief too. Like, I've got my sleeping bag, you know, I've got a lighter if I need to light a fire or whatever. And actually put the backpack on, it was pretty damaged up. And then I'm like, oh, happy days. And then there's like water running down through this section, this whole big like gutter, this big washed out sort of valley between two mountains, and the fucking water's getting louder, and this whole day tried to kill me, dude. And the water's getting louder and louder and louder, and I get there and there's a fucking mass waterfall. Oh, fuck. And it's just like this, the edge of it's like this, and I've come down in this steep valley and there's this flowing over edge, and I'm like, fuck, I can't get down there. So I had to climb up, find another section through the mountain, climb up high, go past it, then drop back in. And then it's smooth sailing for like a couple of 100 meters. Then the water gets louder again. Fucking another waterfall. I come across 3 waterfalls, and they're not waterfalls like where, I'll throw my pack off and then I'll just jump in the water. Yeah. The water's like freezing, which I could handle. But it's fucking raging, and it's just raging in the other rock. So it's like half a meter deep. That's all it is, and it's gone in the solid rock. There's no water there. And there was one section where I got so caught. I had 2 banks like this and a waterfall in front of me. Not as big as the other ones, but like a fall that, you know, you're still fucking dead. Fucked. And there was a big old tree that had washed out of one of these banks, you know, and it was like sort of about that thickness. And I'm dragging it over to the edge, and I locked it between 2 big rocks where the root system was, where it washed out. I locked the root system between these fucking rocks, and I'm climbing down this tree, down. And it only went so far down, but then it went to a point where if I just left my body weight on the rock to slow me up, when I hit the bottom, it wouldn't fucking hurt. Yeah, well, it did fucking hurt. I ended up getting to the bottom of the tree where the tree ran out, and then letting go of the tree and sliding down on the rocks. Like, my whole front's like ripping on these rocks, gripping on the rocks, and then hit the bottom, and it just like jarred me ankles and me knees and stuff like that. But like, as in just a rough jar, you know. Yeah. And then I went again, and I got to a waterfall that you just couldn't pass, and I ended up having to cut back through the mountain like on a horrible slope, but at least there was like shrubbery and stuff that I could sort of pull myself up on. And anyway, cut, because there was heaps more dramas, but to cut a long story short, I ended up dropping out to the river, and because it's fucking raining, the river was raging, and I had to fucking cross it 3 different times. Oh. And I got a big backpack on, and I'm just bopping through the river in the fucking rapids, like trying to get to the other side, and then you'd get footing on the other side, walk out, and then I'd be like, happy days, walk down the river, and then the river would wash into a big bank, and it'd just be like a sheer rock cliff. And then I'm just caught in this V, and I have to bop across the river again. And then the 3rd time across the river, I got all the way down, and it's just starting to get dark now.
Dude, so this is from like 9:30 a.m.
No,
dusk.
Way before that. I started 2 hours in the dark of the morning just to get to the point where I got bluffed out, and I would have been bluffed out at like 7 in the morning. You know, and then started dropping down. But the point where I said it was like 9:30 was where I was in that real shitty spot, you know. Yeah. And I get all the way down there, and on the South Island in New Zealand, the bridges are like 1 car wide and super fucking narrow and super long across those big rivers. And to the point where you see side view mirrors sitting on the road where people collect their mirrors.
No shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not fucking surviving today. And then a tourist hits me on the fucking bridge. And so I bop through the river under the bridge again to get to the side that the car was on and walk down to the car. And then it was funny. Like, I was thinking about it all. I just had my head down. And that's where I was really questioning myself. Like, why did you do that? And then, you know, I had to reason with myself. It's, you know, I had to go back and it's because you thought, you know, the map showed a gradual detour down there. It looks safer than the other way. You didn't mean to take that risk, you know. And then just things like that, because I've had some run-ins with grizzlies and shit in America, and like Kim, it's not a fucking good talking point at home. Because I've got 3 kids, I've got a beautiful wife, I've got lots to live for, but I just fucking mourn for that sort of adventure, stuff that not everyone's doing. That's what I love. It enriches me. Like don't get me, like I said it on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe really struggled to understand it. I'm happy to die. I'm not trying to die.
Yeah.
But I'm just really happy to die. I'm just really fulfilled. I don't want to die. I don't want to leave my kids. I don't want to leave my wife. I want to keep experiencing these things whenever I can. So I don't want to die. I'm just saying that I'm happy to die. I've lived a very rich life in that sense, like where I've got to experience a lot. And I feel like I've lived 6 or 7 lives as well, from where I've come from to where I am now and the things that I've done in between. But, I just got to justify to myself, like I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't, and I did really think that was the better option going that way. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a funny one, and just, we don't argue about it, but, Kim would be like, don't do that. Like, don't put me through that. And I'm like, fuck, I'm not trying to be. But at the same time, and this ends up being what comes out of it, she knows who I am and what I am. That's just how I am. Like, I don't know, what would you prefer me to do? Just fucking sit on the couch and watch fucking the footy or something like that?